NXT by any chance?
Yeah. I got like the Twitter gimmick going. We're actually live, but that's okay. We're gonna put as much thought into this episode as the marketing team put into the marketing of this particular episode.
I feel like, Zach, this is the Love Wrestling equivalent of, all right, you got a microphone, go cut a promo while we're waiting for the main eventer to get here. All right, what's my tweet going to say? Number one, it always throws me off, and I've told you this before, that you are Zach everywhere and easily findable everywhere except on Twitter when I search up Zach.
I gotta fix that.
Zach and Spenny chat about the NWA, maybe. There's the tweet.
Well, thank you for handling the Twitter gimmick for that.
Hey, I got you covered. There we go. All right.
So with that being said,
now we're slightly obligated to chat about the NWA.
Yeah. And so, with that, I think we should, just welcome people to the show. Don't have too many people joining us in the stream yet, but this is just our pre-show gimmick. We're just having a little chit chat while the other Black and Gold wrestling brand wraps up their broadcast for the evening. Spirited main event for what I'm seeing, and I'm hoping you're all enjoying it. But Spencer and I, we're here to chat NWA when the time is right. How you doing, friend?
Dude, I'm doing well. I've got no complaints on my end that at least I will stress in the pre-show. But today's been good. Last couple of weeks have been good. The conversation I actually had with Holden Albright was great, but I kicked it off sort of the same way I'm going to kick it off with you, is like over the last couple of days, it's been like a very consciously overwhelming day. Like I knew I piled a lot on my plate and I knew I was going to have a tough time trying to manage it all, but heads above water, things are well. This is the last commitment I believe I've got for the evening outside of just, the general banter on professional wrestling Twitter. And then I'm going to play some Pokemon tonight. I kickstarted a new game a couple of weeks ago because, you just got to at some point. You know what I mean? Like, once you beat the Pokemon League and you get through a little bit of the exterior stuff, I suppose.
Sure.
You gotta kick her back off with a new starter. Like, the Pokemon games are fairly, what's the best way to put them? Like, you're not getting a lot of change in sort of the storyline mechanics.
No,
is the best way to put it, right? Like, beat the gyms, catch the legendary Pokemon, save the Poke World. Big fuck yeah, America. But it's been kind of nice to go back through because, I don't know if you're a big Pokemon fan, but
not at all.
Fair enough. So then I'll keep her short. With the new Pokemon games, rather than just only very set routes, there's a huge open world portion in 2 sections of the game now, which you've never really had in Pokemon before. So very excited on that end of things. It's a bit of a change up, I suppose, would be the enunciated French phrase. But I could be wrong there. I don't speak French well.
You're going to come to me? You're going to come to my house and speak French?
No, that's why I tried to cut it as short as I could and transition back over to you. I know who the experts are here. I don't do my own taxes for the same reason, Zach. I am bad with numbers. Same reason I reach out to you for graphics. I'm bad at those. I'm very good at the try my best and very good at the have fun aspects of this job, my friend. But
and that's all that counts, really.
That's exactly it. I got no complaints, though, man. How are you doing? How are things? And welcome to all of you guys tuning in on Twitch, Facebook,
we got
and
some
YouTube.
people
It's
now.
nice to see you streaming in here. Always appreciate it. Hi, Pluggo.
Pluggo's here. Hi, Pluggo. As mentioned, this is just our little pre-show. Spencer and I are just chit-chatting while we wait for Great American Bash Night 2 to wrap up what they're doing this evening. I'm keeping a close eye on Twitter, looking for the finish, because we want to keep the spoilers away from Spencer, and I'm not invested.
You know what? I'll admit it. Feel free to send them because I'm on Twitter as well. I appreciate the no spoilers policy for us to the viewers, but I also don't mind. I don't mind at all. I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting Johnny Gargano versus Nikki Cross tonight. Very disappointed to find out that we were getting Carrion in there. Not that I dislike him. Well.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get why it's not clicking in NXT because I saw it. I can't really have an informed opinion on what he's doing in NXT, but I really loved what I saw of him in TNA, and I don't get why it's not clicking in NXT. That's crazy.
The personal
Pluggo, no,
opinion.
Think whatever you want, man. Let it be your headcanon. But I'm just gonna leave this overlay here, and you'll never know for sure. But Spencer is also rocking Cool Runnings. Yeah, he's got it on in the background.
You know what, man? Like, you can't throw that in there after I go out of my way and make a Cool Runnings joke in the Slack channel earlier, dude. That's not fair. That's not fair. You can't double down on that. But like, that's the best way I can put it. Just to go back to your carrying cross stuff. Not clicking is really the only way I can describe it, because like the first time he made that entrance with Scarlett, it was so cool. I loved his match against Ciampa, the sort of 10-minute pseudo squash, I suppose. Honestly, and I don't know if it's just like my recency bias. Honestly, that's what I'm going to attribute it to regardless. Like, that entrance on main event was so off-putting for me. Yeah. It was just so odd, and that was maybe like the nail for me. Not the nail. I've still got a lot of love for what he does as far as his professional wrestling. The character part of it, though, is just, despite his talent, not clicking for me is the best way to put it.
That's fair.
It really is. And here's to hoping for Johnny Ace. No, Johnny Gargano. I can't even use Johnny Ace as a nickname for Johnny Gargano. So I hope Johnny Gargano is our NXT champion sooner rather than later. But say la vie.
Astrid was with you regarding Nikki Cross. That would have been, and you know what? I'm all in for that. I got time for...
Hello, Astrid.
And a heartwarming message from our friend Pluggo. Thanks to you all for joining us this evening. Once again, we're just waiting for the NXT broadcast to wrap up so we can have wrestling fans of all promotions join us for tonight's episode of PowerrrOut. And as mentioned on Twitter, I got a thunder and lightning just outside my window right now. It's very possible like we will live up to the name of this show and you'll be left to do this episode by yourself.
And that's completely fine by me. I've been advertising an unadvertised clip show, so we're covered off in the spirit of the brand, right?
Absolutely. Joe, Mighty Joe, good to see you, friend. Thank you
good to
all
see you,
for
brother.
joining. Yeah, we got a nice. It's a nice house tonight. We got. I guess you're the draw, man.
I'm not going to speak to that. That just seems rude of me to do so. Am I disagreeing with what you had to say, though? Not necessarily.
From what I am seeing, the match has reached its decision, and I will say that without spoilers, of course. And I'm just going to assume that the broadcast is wrapping up as well. So perhaps we're going to jump into the opening credits or opening music of the show, and we'll catch our audience with a little NXT chatting after that.
Let's do it. I'll see you on the other side, friend.
Yes, sir. That was like the least smooth introduction I've ever given, but say la vie.
Ladies and gentlemen, power is over. But that does not mean for one instant of a second that the fun is over. Without a doubt, you are here because the power is out. So stick around, because it's it's PowerrrOut. Yeah, it's PowerrrOut.
It is Tuesday night. The other black and gold wrestling brand has wrapped up, and so NXT is done. We are here to talk NWA on PowerrrOut. Zach Ralph here. I am joined by special guest co-host Spencer Love. How you doing, friend?
I'm great, man. No complaints on my end. It has been a busy day for a lot of positive reasons. Thanks for everybody who has tuned in through the pre-show, through our ramblings, through our Pokemon chat, but excited to get back down to business chat about the NWA.
But it has been a marathon day. Well, for the both of us, you just did Mine Behind with Holden Albright. I just did Smark and Friends with Bob Anger. It's how you holding up after busy?
You know what? I'm doing well. It's been a very, like I said, busy day, but chatting with you, I know not to put you over on your own show, chatting with you and getting to chat with Holden. And then we had a couple of things that we've got in the back end works. I love wrestling that'll be coming to fruition soon. So it's been a lot of calls, a lot of great chats with a lot of great people. Excited to do so again tonight. Excited to do so with a lot of good people in the chat, friend.
Absolutely. To everyone who's joining us, be you on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, if you're joining us live, please drop your thoughts on the NWA. We love for you to share them with us. We love to chat with you. And if you're joining us after the fact, if you're joining us not live, thanks for catching the replay. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you for consuming PowerrrOut however you so choose. Glad to have you here. Very happy that you're tuning in. But you know what, Spencer? Overall, I'm not happy though. I'm actually quite frustrated after today's.
So debacle is the word I'll use. I'll hopefully help you out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to preface everything that I'm about to say because I'm a firm believer in the compliment sandwich. I have thorough respect for the National Wrestling Alliance, for Nick Aldis, for Billy Corrigan, for all of the individuals involved in it. Like when you get down to brass tacks with it, if you had like a gun to my head. My two favorite brands or my favorite styles of pro wrestling, I guess, are very like NWA, Ring of Honor, very to steal the cliche, like pure throwback styles of pro wrestling. It's frustrating to me that with the NWA, and it's nothing against the wrestling, obviously. I still think that's terrific. Even the two matches we got tonight were terrific, but just the way things are being handled, like if you were to advertise the Champions Series for a month from now, promote it for the month, and then the day it's supposed to air, it aired, perfect. Give me some timelines, air things when you say they're going to air. It was very frustrating to me today that not only was there I'm a sucker for pro wrestling promotions, man. Just feed me something, usually I'll take it. And the fact that there wasn't so much as hey, we've chosen to, whatever route or whatever the reason was, that they aired like a tribute / half new episode tonight. All I need is hey, we've had to delay. Sorry, whatever. That's it. That's all I need. But the fact that you and I have the screen grabs of Joe Galley, great announcer and by all accounts a great dude. Tweeting or announcing on the episode 2 weeks ago, July 13th it'll launch. Today's July 13th. You tweeted at the NWA, hey, when's this launching? They said next week. And an hour later, you and I are both tuned into this recap sort of episode. Again, and I should sidetrack here as well. I'm all about a Josephus tribute.
Yeah.
That guy is
absolutely.
He's a treasure to the NWA, and any chance you have to honor him, you do. But I also think, going back to the point, it's almost a disservice to not announce that in advance.
Yes.
So it's maybe, and I'm not going to steal your phrase because you've said it a couple times, and I'll leave her to you. But it seems like maybe some things might be getting. I don't know. I hate speculating on the back end shit too because I've never done that, right? But it just seems like there's a disconnect where, for me, what I would have loved. Promote this for 2 weeks because he's the question mark's a guy that I'm sure a lot of NWA fans, yourself, myself, would love to pay tribute to. Announce that, give that 2 weeks, announce the Champion Series tonight. 2 weeks from now on the July 27th, which is now the advertised date. But let me tell you, Zach, I ain't booking work off that night. It's odd to me. That's the best way I can put it. And to close the compliment sandwich out, got nothing but respect for the people and what they do with the National Wrestling Alliance. But it's just weird and a little disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got people in the comments feeling the same way. Mr. J, the voice and the man who gave us our namesake. Scheduling is hard and words are even more difficult. That's a pair of truths that I live by. Ed, NWA needs some better social media directors. Again, I work in social media, so I could not agree more. NWA, if you're watching, I'll send you my resume, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be endearing myself to you in this particular episode of PowerrrOut.
I think I'll earn the big cross as well too, man. It's a matter of time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, like episode itself, I have very little.
Exactly.
It's a good episode, but
that's almost the most frustrating part.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like,
and I've got all the time for David Arquette.
Yeah. This is the thing. Like, today was the first I heard about it being a Josephus tribute. I've got all the time in the world for that. Absolutely. And had they been transparent, saying, "Hey, listen, championship series has been delayed." That's all I needed to hear. I didn't need to know why. I just needed some sort of acknowledgement that it's just moving over. That's fine. Yeah. Totally fine. But what happened was,
coming out of a pandemic, we're fine to change things around.
Yeah, please do if it's more convenient for everyone. Like, that's totally understandable. But right now, I get this sense that maybe the social media team just was hoping people didn't notice. And what's very disheartening is on Twitter, it seems like I was the only person who actually noticed. So no one was asking this, and I think they were hoping that was the case, and that speaks volumes in its own right.
I completely agree. Good to see you, Dare Amazing. Also, great to see your screen name in there because I always enjoy it. I love me. What's the word? Portmanteaus. Hey, yeah. I would love if Natalie Portman married Jacques Cousteau because then their portmanteau would be portmanteau. We didn't advertise a clip show, so here's a clip.
Yeah. So top of the show, Joe Galley announces a new NWA series called the Championship Series. Please excuse me, it wouldn't be PowerrrOut if my cat didn't jump on my tables, so I'm just going to get him out of the way. Please shame him, Internet. He is terrible.
That's the real co-host right there.
I should just set up a little perch right here, just so I can get that out of the way at the beginning of each show. Let him just chill. Yeah, but anyway, that is what it is.
So tell
Honestly,
you what,
we lined a lot of clips up.
Yeah, much in the spirit of this unadvertised edition of Power Surge. Spencer, this was your brainchild, so I'm going to put you over here. We just got a couple clips of past episodes of PowerrrOut that we're going to pepper throughout the broadcast between discussions about the episode itself. But I'll say this much. If we get, say, 20 likes, no, not likes, 20 live viewers at any point during this broadcast, we'll do that. I'll build a little perch right here. Ticket will have a spot to sit in future broadcasts. So
Beauty.
Tell a friend.
Ed, that's what we need is a little bit of help. If you can send out some retweets, coax some viewers to get in here, however you may do so. Let's get Ticket his perch, their perch. Ticket a female or male cat? I don't know.
Ticket's a boy.
There we go. Ticket the man of the house and the man of the perch.
He knows I'm talking. Friend. He knows we're talking about him. He's watching me.
Will the cat be available next week?
Well, actually, that's a very good point. So before we deep dive into the little bit of wrestling content that we got this evening on Power Surge, I will be unavailable next Tuesday. I will not be available for this the Tuesday episode of PowerrrOut, but luckily Pluggo will be stepping in. He will be taking the reins as the core host. Whoever he finds for a guest host, that's at his disclosure. Do I need to make graphics to say Pluggo out? I think I do. That's really clever, and I think I might have to.
Yeah. Honestly, man, if you had even sent this in the private chat, maybe we could have debated this, but now that you've said it online.
Yeah, Pluggo out next week in the usual PowerrrOut spot. But hey, who knows? Apparently scheduling content is a lawless landscape, and we can do whatever we please. At least that's what I'd be doing if we were following NWA's reigns tonight. But again, enough dragging and burying of their marketing.
Hey, if we ever have Lee Carvalho on the show, can we have it be Power Drive?
Spencer, I invited you here, and you bring this to my table.
Think of what would have happened if there was an announced show that we got to watch tonight. I would have been much more on task.
Yeah, that's okay. But again, let's talk about some of the wrestling we watched tonight, because the show starts. We get Billy Corgan setting the tone for the night. He gives a loving tribute to Josephus, Joseph Hudson. Talks about the importance of the Josephus character, as well as the big splash made by the question mark character, which is definitely something that I don't think they ever really expected to be as popular as it actually was. That man, Joseph Hudson, made it work. We quickly move on. We get a little bit of Joe Galley, who tells us that we're going to get little bits of the storyline that led up to Josephus and his spiritual advisor taking on David Arquette and a mystery opponent from yesteryear NWA content. I'm not sure exactly when that event originally took place, but they're building up.
Quick spoiler, who do you think the mystery partner is going to be?
Oh, dude, this all happened so fast. I didn't even have time to just ruminate on the speculation. I was busy fuming. I was too busy being angry about their marketing, but and I couldn't have fun speculating on who the mystery opponent might be. Did you have someone in mind?
I had a couple names in mind off the bat, but right at the front of it for me was, of course, Chris Adonis.
Okay,
but no.
That was
of course, Chris Adonis. It also wasn't a new match. Yeah,
that's exactly it. You couldn't really Spencer with the win for the Simpsons reference. If you're gonna bring a Simpsons reference, yeah, I'll give you that. That'll give Spencer a little bit of grace on my program.
You told me I'm a draw, Andre. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for tuning in, man. Missed you. I still miss you. Let's grab a beer soon.
So the match itself, the opening contest, we get before moving on to the main event. I did a very poor transition there. Just want to clarify, we're talking about a different matchup right now. We got Jeremiah Plunkett taking on Marshe Rocket. Not much to write home about this match, but it was very competitive, very solid ring work going on, and some nice heel work by Plunkett. Just doing the whole behind the ref's back. He went to town with the heel gimmicks. Rocket wins with a cutter. Solid match, but no stakes.
Yeah, and that's the best way to put it. I quite enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's even nice to hear the additional audience that's been allowed into the NWA studio, because they've obviously got more people in there. And one thing you can always credit the NWA fans for is they're into every match. I don't think at any point, whether it's this sort of restarted Power or whether it was prior to the pandemic, that you could ever say it was a quiet crowd. And that continued, which always will add. So I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the Tater Peeler chant. I always appreciate a unique chant in professional wrestling. I got a lot of love for CM Punk and Stone Cold. I'm tired of the what chant. I'm tired of the CM Punk chant. Let's get some great new chants out there. And when you're going after someone portraying a more rural individual, Tater Peeler works great. I quite enjoyed it. But like you said, outside of that, when you don't really have any stakes outside of it being are they calling them Power Showcase matches, the two that we had tonight?
Yeah.
Something along those lines?
Yeah, and go ahead.
Well, I think it's a great idea if there's maybe something like I don't know, title opportunity is the easy answer, but something along those lines, okay, or an NWA contract in kayfabe or whatever it might be. But that's nitpicking. I enjoyed the match. It's just no real stakes to it, like you said.
I like what Joe brings up here. The studio wrestling atmosphere is awesome. I dig it. It certainly really sets NWA apart from existing wrestling content right now. No one really has that studio environment. I wish they would have the hard cam on the audience though, and I don't know why they aren't including them. The only thing I could possibly think is their previous studio, they had the incline, the bleachers and everything, but the rare glimpse we get of the audience, they're all on the ground level, and maybe it's almost redundant not to have the camera on them. But that's just speculation. Yeah. But with that, we're wrapping up the first contest. So why don't we roll to another clip, another highlight of past Power-outs I
think that is a great idea. Now, this is the first time I've been this disappointed, so we're going to go to a first that I really enjoyed.
Before we continue, I almost don't want to put this comment on the screen, but I'm going to. Mr. J demands a demonstration of the dance.
It's something like this, right? I don't mind.
Something like that.
There it is.
I always love it. And if you want to see more of Zach dancing so that my voice doesn't crack during this plug, free to head to tiktok.com/@LoveWrestlingCA because I'm the face of a lot of things sometimes here on Love Wrestling, but Zach on my left is the face of Love Wrestling TikTok. He's a guy doing a lot of good things over on something that I very much don't understand. So feel free to show some love over there, please.
Yeah, TikTok is a mystery to me as well, and I'm slowly unraveling its secrets. But man,
Is
that dance,
evolution also a mystery?
It certainly is. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This is how it starts, man. There's one dance reference, and suddenly the comments just start rolling in. That clip, man, that's gonna haunt me for the entirety of my Love Wrestling career, isn't it?
So you know what? Here's what I'll commit to. Let's get a design done up. Let's get some pre-orders out there, and if we can get some pre-orders on a Dancing Zach shirt. We can make them happen.
Boy.
Full like mid DOS Wonder Kid too. Like this won't be a straight on shot. This will be like full on Dancing Zach. You can even get one of those fun shirts where like the whole shirt is Dancing Zach if we can find a supplier for that.
I don't really have anything clever to say about that. Hey, if I'm getting a cut of a Dancing Zach merch, I suppose like I'm gonna smile and nod through it all. But
yeah, what's our likeness deal that we've got on this site? I've only got a per piece deal, I think.
We'll work it out. We'll
let the lawyers do that shit.
But I am retaining animation rights. So yeah, we start
the entire animation rights.
Oh, Job, always got time for an Arrested Development reference. So thank you for that. We start getting glimpses of that angle that led to the hair versus hair tag team match between Josephus and his spiritual advisor against David Arquette and mystery opponent. It's a bit of a press conference scenario. Arquette is, just talking about how he hasn't really endeared himself to wrestling fans in the past, given his history in WCW, but he puts over how much respect he has for the industry and like how he's come back to locker rooms and he just wants to do it right, man. And that's been his shtick for a while. And like he tells a hell of a story, like in the name of the documentary, You Cannot Kill David Arquette, and this was kind of like a microcosm of that entire film. Then you have Josephus at the same press conference. He's playing the role of the smirk, so to speak. He's saying the wrestling fans are rejecting him, do not want him to be a part of the NWA.
Awkward part for me to cheer at, admittedly, but Andre, thank you for subscribing on Twitch. It is incredibly appreciated. That's 2 months in a row that you've had access to exclusive Twitch emotes. Sorry, I didn't know if I was going to run out of breath or not, so I just kept going with the plug. But always, 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 friends, however you choose to support, remember, it is always appreciated. But if you choose to support financially, whether it's subscribing, whether it's donating bits, however, it always goes right back into the pockets of our contributors who I know I can speak for all of them. I ain't just putting Zach over on this end of things. Everyone involved is a fantastic individual doing great things in professional wrestling and will continue to do great things in professional wrestling. So however you choose to support, thanks a ton. If you choose to support financially, it is incredibly appreciated. And thank you, Andre, specifically for just choosing to do so again. I agree, though, Ed. We need more dancing on Love Wrestling. I'd be fine with it. If we can figure out, like, we did Word Slam, which was one of the first live poetry readings that has disappeared into the ether. But we're going to have more on that in the next little bit. Stay tuned. If we can do the first live, like, professional wrestling dance competition, like, I will figure out a way to do Stand Back.
Of course you will. Of course you will.
That's what we'll do. I will figure out a way to do Stand Back, and I will find a local independent professional wrestling star to fake saxophone for me.
Dare Amazing asking for more Word Slam. Mr. J, I don't know if you're still in the comments, but the demand for you still exists. I know you stepped away from Love Wrestling. You're moving on to bigger, better things, but we still love you, man. And if a Word Slam 2 is in the cards, believe me, I will do my part to help you make that happen. Thank you, Joe. Always.
Well done. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. How about a part-time ring announcer to play fake sax? Yeah, you go ahead and you keep subscribing. I'll have you play fake sax, fake guitar. You can pick whichever of the fake instruments are out there. Feel more than free. You take your pick.
I apologize for bringing up old wounds. That's not what the show's about. We're supposed to be talking about NWA, but once again, this has become a lawless landscape with no format, no rhyme, no reason. But
you know, it's always a good idea if we want to reset ourselves, though.
A clip.
Another clip.
Following the contest, Mae Valentine is back. She's with Aaron Stevens. He's cutting a promo that he should have been cutting in WWE after he resolved that the Miz Dow storyline with the Miz. He was just like speaking from the heart. He was saying like, I will make, you know, pardon the idiom, I will make chicken shit out of chicken salad. No, I will make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Don't do the other way around, folks. I wouldn't advise it. It's not a good thing. But he would do that. Mizdow or Sandow, he would do that. I'm going to give Jordan a moment to regain his composure after my
I'm just
little
going to
gap
mute
there.
myself for a second.
Yeah, please do. Please do while I bury myself, while I dig myself out of this hole.
Every part of that clip is fantastic. Every part of it.
The very first episode of PowerrrOut. That takes me back.
Look how far we've come, too. Brand new mic. Brand new. Well, not brand new. You've always had a rotating cast of characters, so I can't really say brand new, but
you
I was
know,
trying to find a second different.
I actually had this mic, but I screwed it up. I had like the microphone in my headset going. Led to poor audio quality.
Been there.
Yeah.
Been there.
And such is life. But we move on to a triple threat match on this particular episode of Power Surge. We got Papa Jive versus Rush Freeman versus Jordan Clearwater. Match itself, Clearwater and Jive start the match targeting the larger Freeman. Freeman wakes up and starts taking control. Ostensibly, for the better part of this match, it's a handicap match with the baby faces against the much larger heel. Outside, Black Cheese throws Papa Jive into the post. He offers him to Clearwater to take the 3 count, which Clearwater will not take. He wants to win the right way, but this allows him time to hit the Midas Touch Big Boot on Rush Freeman for the win. No mention of Clearwater working with Austin Idol and his client, and I've got time for that, so that's really
fantastic to be able to talk at length about this individual because I quite like him.
Absolutely. You know, I know you have time for Jordan Clearwater. You've spoken quite highly of him in the past. This was a nice showcase of his work.
I agree, but and this is me getting like, again, really picky with it. It's only my personal preference, so it's just one man's opinion. I really think there was an opportunity, and I've got no idea if the other two individuals are like full-time NWA wrestlers or anything of that sort. I think there could have been like a really cool character building moment or leading into a next feud. Like you said, you need some sort of stakes, and this really didn't have it off the bat. If after he refused to win that way, quote unquote, if somebody else had like screwed him and won, I think that would have been a really great way to start to build a true first feud. But I got a lot of time for him. The only other note that I've got is, admittedly, I thought Rush Freeman was going to win because I loved his mullet.
The deciding.
Oh man, when in doubt, go with the hair. It's why I became a Brian Pillman fan. It's why I became a Brian Pillman Jr. fan. So I might as well stick with what's winning, right? But I really enjoyed this match. I want to stress, I enjoyed what we got of the NWA tonight. I just feel a bit misadvertised too, and that's very frustrating. Yeah. If I told you I was going to be giving away free chocolate ice cream and was giving away free vanilla ice cream, you'd probably still be pretty happy, but you'd feel a little misled.
Exactly. That's the way to put it. It's just like, it's a matter of marketing. This isn't the first time NWA has kind of like gaffed their marketing, and it's very frustrating for the few of us who are noticing. Yeah, just the left hand is not talking to the right, and they need to do something about their communication.
There's the phrase I didn't want to steal earlier.
Oh, dude, we have been working together so long that I am starting to steal so many of your idioms, like have
How
time
often
for.
does neat pop up?
Neat pops up fairly often. You've also adopted my own hecking, spelt with the asterisk in the place.
Oh yeah, that's been completely stolen.
Yeah.
We've only just begun.
So with Jordan Clearwater's victory, we only have one more match to discuss, which is appropriate because I think we only have one more clip to showcase, and this is actually from outside of PowerrrOut, but it's very relevant to the NWA audience. So why don't you take it away,
Exactly.
Spencer?
When we're going to be talking about disappointment, and in our opinion, we are entitled to talk about our disappointment as long as it is done in a respectful manner to all individuals involved, and especially, I know I speak for you a little bit on this, Zach. When you have to be a little bit critical of an event that was meant as a tribute and meant to someone who not only meant a lot, I'm sure, to you and I as fans, but the individuals specifically in the National Wrestling Alliance. So in the compliment sandwich idiom that I endeavored to earlier, here is Nick Aldis from our conversation last month, just talking about the question mark. One other individual that I do have to ask about who held the NWA's heart, for lack of a better way to put it, is, of course, the question mark. It's oddly enough, not so much a question. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to maybe share some thoughts on, obviously, what he meant to not only you, but the NWA as a whole.
Yeah, look, Joseph Hudson, as a human being, was a really, he was a special guy, very unique, very eccentric, like a sort of lovably odd guy. He lived very close to me. We were both in the Nashville area, so he's been to the house. And the last time I saw him before he passed away, we were hanging out in my kitchen, just sort of chatting it up about whatever. And he wore a lot of hats here. He played a big part in sort of getting us where we were. And he was one of those guys that he would have been. He would have always had a place here. Like he would have been a sort of end, with Billy and their relationship, and they had a long established relationship long before I was in the picture. So he is one of those guys, like I said, that would have had a job for life, with the NWA. He would have been because he did so many different things. He produced, he edited, he helped with with logistics, merchandise, all sorts of stuff. So not just on a personal level, obviously, because it's just a really great human being and a very dedicated father, which to me was obviously admirable and something I can relate to. Just as he's also missed greatly on a professional level.
Nick was really generous with his time, to be honest with you, as far as that goes. And again, my disappointment with tonight's episode notwithstanding, there are a lot of good people in the NWA. There are a lot of people trying to do great things for professional wrestling. We're just fans with opinions here. They're the guys actually going there and doing the thing. And full credit to both Nick Aldis, Billy Corgan, and everyone involved for being able to restart so successfully, in my opinion, following a real shitty pandemic for everybody. But thanks once again to him as well, I guess I should say, for hopping on the show. Appreciate it as hell, and I hope you guys check that out, as well as all the other great content we've got here on Love Wrestling. The only other thought that I had while I was watching that, though, is I don't know if I hate more when I appear on camera that pale or this, because I was camping all weekend, and let me tell you, I do not take to sun well above +4. And Zach, the heat wave that we've had in Canada over the last 2 weeks is not doing well for me at all.
Yeah, dude, it is brutal right now. It's brutal here in Montreal. Thankfully, the storm stopped, so it seems that the power will not go out on PowerrrOut. But man, I love recording. I love doing live streams and everything, but the bane of my existence right now is turning off my air conditioner so it's not heard in the background. The second I finish this broadcast, I just gotta I feel gross, and I just
right to the basement with me too, dude. I'm sure you saw me in the little StreamYard thing we've got here, wiping my eyes every time we did a clip because I know it's sweaty because we don't have air conditioning upstairs. Thankfully, our basement is freezing, so I'll be covered off there. But I've been apologizing to both anyone, or all, I guess, of anyone tuning into the live streams or any guests I've had on interviews, because it's quite literally just a sweaty time at this point. I really don't have a more I don't have a better way to put it. It's a pretty sweaty time on my end once we get to about the 40-minute part, as we are as we're here on PowerrrOut.
Yeah, but we have a main event, a previously aired main event to discuss. This has been teased throughout the evening. It's been showcasing the angle leading up to Josephus and their spiritual advisor against David Arquette and a mystery opponent. Once again, this is from a previous year of NWA content. Big audience, crowds loving it. Match begins with David Arquette comes out. He doesn't really have anyone with him. Josephus is just ripping into him for a good few minutes before the match even begins, before there's even any semblance of a mystery partner, excuse me. Josephus is he's just masterful. He's doing all the good heel stuff. He's encouraging Arquette to forfeit this hair versus hair match, invites him to have a seat so he can just cut it. But David Arquette's no, you know what? I have a partner. It's someone you have a history with, someone you've been in a thick rivalry with. And of course, Tim Storm comes out. So we get something of a novelty match that's, understated with an existing rivalry. And I think that's a nice pairing to do. The match itself, Storm is taken out very early, putting Arquette in a very survival position. Storm gets the hot tag and takes it to Josephus. He hits him with a perfect storm and tags Arquette in, throwing him off the top rope for a splash for Josephus to win. I'm not going into full detail about this match because, again, this is from a few years back. But that was a nice moment. I definitely
always have some time
watching
for
that.
I've always got time for nostalgia. Quite enjoyed it watching. That's quite honestly all I really have to say about it. If you're checking the match out for the first time, if you're checking it out for the third or fourth time as I have been, you're going to enjoy it every time. I love me some Tim Storm, to be honest with you.
Tim Storm, when I first got into NWA, during their initial run of Power, I was surprised how much I was rooting for Tim Storm and how much he just loves his mama, how much he's a great school teacher or something. He's a great guy.
The man. He's an everyman. There's really no, I hate being cliche, but there's so many in pro wrestling that just apply in the most positive of ways for Tim Storm. He's the everyman, and you need someone like that in the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, and he does it in spades. It's one thing to be a cliche in the role, but it's another thing to be a cliche and knock it out of the park with your own twist on it. And I think Tim Storm is that guy. I found it interesting, and this is a credit to Joseph Hudson, that if you're doing a showcase match, you're doing a tribute for this great talent. They showed how giving he was. They showed him take the L in a big marquee match that drew a pretty decent house from what I saw in that clip. And again, David Arquette has been just trying to win back the wrestling crowd, and Josephus had no problem being that guy to help him get there. And that just speaks volume of the character that was the man, Joseph Hudson.
Yeah, you put it perfectly, man. Can't put it better than that.
And with that, we wrap up the surprise coverage of Power Surge. You might have noticed, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, that this was referred to as the Champion Series reaction, as I was expecting until about sometime this afternoon, when I asked the marketing team on social media if they were premiering that, and they said nope, we're going to do that next week. And then during the episode, they confirmed that it's going to happen 2 weeks from now. Right hand not talking to the left. That is what it is. But again, I've buried their marketing team enough. But I can't speak highly enough about the episode that we actually watched, because again, that was a very fine hour way to spend our time. And I suppose the real Champion Series is the friends we made along the way.
Oh, you took my line.
Didn't even see it coming.
Nicely done. Bam. Right.
That's how much we're taking each other's content right now. We're just we're
even finishing each other's
sandwiches.
Oh, you nailed it. Oh man, well played. This was fun. I was excited to chat, and my excitement was definitely well founded.
With that, that wraps up another episode of Power and PowerrrOut, and I'm glad you're here because you've been taking the reins on leading our raids to other fine Twitch content creators. Who we got today? Who are we rating this evening?
Well, we are going to go hang out with a good friend of mine from the Albertan professional wrestling scene, Anthony Graham. His handle on Twitch is at Jupiter Vision. So if you guys are tuned in on YouTube, if you guys are tuned in on Facebook, thank you for supporting there. But we're going to continue to have some good times in the comment section on Twitch of another great individual stream. So feel free to head there. If you guys are tuned in on Twitch, all it is going to be is one click once we hit the start raid button. So I'm going to just get ahead of it, Zach, if I possibly can, and just say, if you want to continue to support Love Wrestling, feel free to do so on any of the podcast players, any of the video viewers, or any of the article readers. I got to think of something better for the third part.
Feeds.
But either way, there we go. Anywhere that you guys can view videos, listen to audio, or read articles. There we go. You guys can find it at Love Wrestling CA. If you want to find it all in one fell swoop, it is www.lovewrestling.ca. That's where you can find everything regarding previews, reviews, breaking news, interviews, and a whole lot more from the whole wide world of professional wrestling. And personally, my handle's right there. You can find me at Spenny Love. Whether you like what I have to say, whether you dislike, whether we love the same things, disagree, whatever it may be, hop in my Twitter feed. I tried to make it all rhyme. I did an okay job. I'm gonna put my
breaking news reviews. That was well done. I must say. That's
thank
a good
you.
run.
I appreciate it. We'll go with that one from this point on. But you can follow me there. That's the most active social media I personally have. Come say hi whenever you feel like it. I would appreciate it.
And do the same on this one over here. Smarkmouth on Twitter. Smark.mouth on Instagram.
Beautiful. We're raiding, Zach. 10 seconds until we head to see Jupiter Vision.
Boom.
And on Facebook and YouTube.